Hello, this is Coach Morris, aka your favorite youth pastor. Sorry, trying to get better lighting. Um, with another video. Today's topic is music. This is probably gonna be a couple parts or a couple devotional videos per se. I believe I haven't talked about music, and there's a lot of different directions we can go with music. And what the direction I want to go to per day particularly is, can Christians listen to secular music? And what I mean by secular music is the stuff that's typically played on the radio, stuff that you wouldn't hear in church per se. That is what secular music would be categorized as, is stuff that's more or less played on the radio. And I feel it's kind of hypocritical, really, because if you're a Christ follower, you need to be listening to Christian music. You need to be listening to things that are going to honor and glorify God. So, in first thoughts, as a Christian, no, you shouldn't necessarily be listening to secular music. But I think there is secular music that you can listen to and still have a positive outcome per se. And it's weird. I feel weird saying it, but I think you understand what I'm saying, because there are music and there are artists who don't like to go by Christian, or who don't particularly are under a Christian label per se, but their music and the style of music and what they're saying behind their lyrics, it's a positive message, and it makes you think. It makes you question your faith. It makes you question things about your faith. And if you're questioning your faith, you're going to grow in your faith. You're going to do some research. You're going to be thinking about it and pondering and marinating on it. And if that's happening because of a song or the lyrics you hear in a non-Christian song, I think that can be a good thing. I think that can be a positive thing. So I feel weird saying yes and no. I feel like it's kind of hypocritical, and you can agree to disagree. That's fine. But ultimately, when you're listening to music, both Christian and non-Christian music, or secular music and whatever, ultimately you need to answer a couple questions. Is the music and the artists you're listening to, are they honoring and glorifying God in and through their music? And the answer, that's a pretty basic answer, and that's a yes or no question. That's a yes or no answer. Is that music honoring God? In 1 Corinthians, I believe in 3:10. Don't hold me to that. I do know it's in 1 Corinthians. It says, "Whatever you do, eat, drink, do it to the fullness, or do it to honor God." And something along the lines of that. You can Bible check me later. But the point is, whatever we do and whatever we put into our minds, our hearts, it needs to be honoring God. And if that music, that song, those lyrics aren't honoring God, I would say you probably shouldn't be listening to that. Just because you do doesn't mean you're going to hell, by no means. But you need to really do an evaluation and self-check and say, should I really be listening to that? And you can go from there. And then another question, or another thing you need to be thinking on or thinking about is, what kind of influence does that song, this artist, this style of music have on me? Because music does a lot of different things for a lot of different people. Music can get people through hard times. With my baby girl, we play music to get her to go to sleep. A lot of times, her toys and stuff play music that either excites her or calms her down. A lot of people do that for the same. A lot of people like music to go to sleep, or like music. I like to listen to music and podcasts when I work. It helps the time go by. And I have an important decision to make on what kind of music or what kind of podcasts to listen to in and through that. And and it really does, depending on what happens that day, a lot of times it depends on what kind of music I want to listen to. But if I find myself down and out, listening to positive podcasts or listening to positive music that has a message of positivity, whether that's, whatever it may be, listen to that will change your mood. I don't know the science behind it. I don't necessarily care to. I just know music affects your mood. You can take a look around, or you can even try in your daily life. Play different styles of music, play different types of music, and see what kind of influence it has on you and your thought process throughout that day. And I can almost guarantee you, what you're putting into your brain, what you're putting into you, is what you're going to reciprocate. What you're putting in is what's going to come out, whether that's good, bad, ugly, tasteful, whatever it may be. So you need to ask that question when you're listening to the music you're listening to. What kind of influence is this having on me, and what are the lyrics saying? What kind of what kind of vibe? I don't necessarily like that vibe, but what kind of vibe is this putting off? What kind of atmosphere? There's a better word, atmosphere, because what if you're working or whatever and you have a sour, bad attitude, and you're listening to a sour, bad influence of music, that's going to rub off and that's going to come out of your speech. But if you're listening to something positive, uplifting, whether that's a podcast or whatever it may be, because I do believe there's music and artists out there who don't fall under a Christian label, who have a good message to say that's going to get you to think, and that's going to get you to thinking, and it's going to put you in the right mindset. So ultimately, you need to, when you're listening to music and when you're choosing music, you need to see if it's honoring God, and then 2, what kind of influence, what are the lyrics are saying to you. And there's all kinds of Christian artists and all kinds of Christian music out there. You just have to be willing to look and search. There's plenty of hip-hop or rap artists out there, and there's plenty of rock to heavy metal out there. There's people who even do like just acoustics. There's people who do like blues or folk kind of music. Just some examples. There's people like Lecrae is pretty big, Andy Mineo. There's a guy named KJ 52. There's Need to Breathe. There's Skillet. There's Red. Carrie Job. You can say Carrie Underwood. She's one of those who's more of a country, or she's under like a country label per se, or record deal, but she has a very heavily influenced Christian background and Christian culture in her music as well. And so you can seek out these people, and you can seek out their music to be able to have a positive influence 24/7, and do what you do throughout the day and listen to this music. And if any of my students are watching this is something I would like to discuss in our Wednesday night, in our Wednesday night Bible study, in our Wednesday night time, because there's a lot of different directions you can go. Probably in the near future, we'll probably break down what kind of denominations and music and why they kind of choose those things, and stuff like that. So the 2 biggest questions you gotta ask yourself: is it honoring God, and what kind of influence, what are the lyrics you're trying to say to you? I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.